Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth visited the borderland today amid growing reports of mismanagement and dysfunction at the Pentagon. The White House says it has no plans to replace Hegseth. And today, the Defense Secretary was touring the New Mexico National Defense Area. Now, that's a 170-mile stretch of land, 60 feet wide, that extends along the border from Arizona to New Mexico, an area where the military is able to detain trespassers as part of President Trump's crackdown on illegal immigration. My co-anchor Robert Olguin covered the Defense Secretary's visit and tried to ask him about how he's managing the controversies. He joins us now from Santa Teresa with more.
Well, it's been a rough couple of weeks for Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, to say the least. There have been key staff departures at the Pentagon and firings, and just yesterday, new reporting that he was using the messaging app Signal at his home, essentially going around Pentagon protocols. So today, the focus was entirely on something that's been a big win for the Trump administration: border security. With armored military vehicles and the border wall as a backdrop, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth toured southern New Mexico's so-called National Defense Area, where thousands of soldiers are now patrolling the border.
You're standing on a national defense area. This may as well be a military base inside the United States of America. Newly announced, newly formed.
Okay, so what exactly are we talking about when we're talking about the National Defense Area? Well, we're talking about this area right here, extending out from the border wall. Secretary Hegseth today said that anyone entering this area essentially is equivalent to trespassing on a military base.
These are the signs that are going to crisscross the National Defense Area. There will be more of them. They will be 100 meters apart, more or less. You cross our border illegally, you will see them. It's clearly posted, and when you ignore them, you will be prosecuted.
Yeah, these are the signs that Secretary Hegseth was referencing. These went up today. These make it very clear that you're not allowed in this area next to the border wall.
But this is just phase one, so it's going to be expanded across the border, and our military, with our friends in the CBP, are going to lock this thing down.
Ever since President Trump took office, illegal border crossings have dropped to historic levels, down 95% in some cases. But the National Defense Area, implemented earlier this month, is not without controversy. The ACLU of New Mexico said the military's deployment represents a dangerous erosion of the constitutional principle that the military should not be policing civilians.
We are getting complete control of the border, and the military that's here now is fully empowered with every authority they need.
While the Trump administration enjoys strong poll numbers when it comes to border security, Hegseth faces tough scrutiny in Washington, with new reports that he set up the Signal messaging app on an unsecured home network. Political analyst Chris Saliza says Hegseth's job is hanging by a thread.
Hegseth is defiant. Trump is defiant. Neither of them want to give in because they think this is all, the mainstream media doing it. Again, it's not. It's Hegseth doing it and the media reporting on it. But, and the mainstream media certainly didn't cause 3 of his most senior staffers to leave, or one of his senior staffers to write an op-ed saying he needs to get fired.
Today, I tried to ask Hegseth about those distractions in D.C., but he did not take questions from reporters. Can we ask one quick question?
No questions today, guys.
So Secretary Hegseth's visit today lasted about 30 minutes. And again, the idea was to gather information about this National Defense Area that's essentially a prototype out here in New Mexico, because the Trump administration plans to expand it. Reporting from Santa Teresa, I'm Robert Olguin.